So cyberbullying, right? What is cyberbullying? How it manifests and how can we combat it? So cyberbullying, until our society recognizes cyberbullying for what it is, the sufferings of thousands of victims will still continue. That is a quote from the cyberbully activist Ana Maria Chavez. She is a proponent of cyberbullying and has spoken out on this problem, calling people to action to stop this pandemic. So what exactly is cyberbullying? How does it manifest in our lives, and how can we know how to combat it and to prevent it? Well, cyberbullying in its core is the bullying on digital devices and online platforms, mainly forums, social media, and blogs. So cyberbullying comes in many types. Most notably are harassment, cyberstalking, and slander. While it also comes in impersonation, exclusion, and doxing, but we will not get into the filler. So, how does it manifest in these main types of cyberbullying? So, for harassment, say for example, you find someone you don't like online, right? You find someone you don't like in real life, be it at school, at work. You go online and you nitpick at their problems, at their wrongdoings, and basically just post something that's true. Post something bad about them online, and that also ties in with slander. But with slander, there's a mix of misinformation, like you spread a rumor about someone you don't like. Slander is the most prevalent form of cyberbullying in anywhere. Well, it is the most prominent in academic settings, as pre-teens and adolescents likes to create attention to themselves and start drama. That's no stranger to us. And cyberstalking is it's basically normal stalking, but you basically follow a person around on the internet, and when they say something controversial or something that is not politically correct, you nitpick them for that. That's called cyberstalking. So how exactly does cyberbullying manifest? So cyberbullies hide behind a mask of anonymity, and they do not need direct access to do unrepairable harm to the victims. And the main causes for cyberbullying is mostly envy, peer pressure, and the impulsive adolescent brain, lack of empathy, and online anonymity, which I just touched on. So, peer pressure. Say for example, you don't necessarily dislike someone, but there's like a group in your class that's like there's like a really big group in your class that don't like this one person, and now if you don't speak out against them, you get labeled as their supporter and you get boycotted by the whole class. And so what most students normally do is they give in to that peer pressure and unknowingly feeds the flame of cyberbullying, and that is what peer pressure is. Another big moving part in cyberbullying is envy. Say for example, there's a student who's really good in your class, right? But you're jealous of them. You don't want to see them succeed. Like you're feeling like they're taking away your spotlight. That usually happens in classes, but I don't feel like it's getting more and more popular. It's just that peer pressure is way bigger nowadays, and envy is not so. But still, with all that jealousy, you come online and you say something bad about them to ruin their reputation, to ruin their image of the all good golden student. And then we have the impulsive adolescent brain. So, as teenagers, our brain develops from the backside to the front end. So the front end, the prefrontal cortex, is where we actually formulate and think about long-term consequences. So when that is not fully developed, we will make impulsive choices. For example, if we dislike someone, we would want to speak out against them, right? Say something bad about them, ruin their reputation, right? Yeah, that would be fun. And then with our underdeveloped prefrontal cortex, we would impulsively make that choice. And studies have shown that most impulsive 45% of students who are known to make impulsive choices, when told to stop and think that do they really want to do this, they actually stop doing it. So, what I'm saying is, this problem, this cause can be combated by just stop and think. Think about what it might do for you and for the victim, him or herself. So the effects that cyberbullying has on a victim and on the bully alike is detrimental. It can never truly go away in a sense, because victims of cyberbullying has a higher rate of depression. They have a higher rate of suicide ideation. There's a research conducted by the BMC, the Biomedical Center, reported that up to, in 2020 alone, 20% to 21% of cyberbullying victims reported to have suicidal ideals, which means that they've thought of committing suicide because of all the amounting pressure that is put onto them by the cyberbullies. And just in a span of 1 year, it grew to 38.4%. That is a really big growth in just 1 year. And more statistic by the Biomedical Center reported that the prevalence of cyberbullying and victimization and suicidal ideation in 3 separate countries from from different cultures reported that in 2020, by the way, Vietnam has 9% of its population suffering from cyberbullying and suicidal ideation, while Hong Kong has 17.9 and US has ranging from 14.8 in some states to the maximum 18.3% in other states. And it is reported that non-victims have a lower percentage of suicidal ideation than victims of cyberbullying, drastically different. And with all that, the effects of cyberbullying not only affects the victim but also affects the bully. Well, it's mostly social and legal backlash, because what you're doing is not necessarily illegal unless you touch on the topic of doxing and impersonation, which is highly illegal to do, by the way. So it's more of a social backlash, because when you cyberbully someone online, people are obviously not going to like it, and then they'll start to basically retaliate on you. They'll spread rumors about you, and you'll become another victim of cyberbullying. And when you continue cyberbullying, you just feed the you just feed the cycle of cyberbullying, enticing others to see, oh, this looks well. Others can see this thing and think that it's kind of fun, and then join in to cyberbully someone, and that is detrimental to our society as well as the online safety. So, what exactly can we do to combat these problems? So, there's two ways. There's prevention and how to combat when we are actively getting cyberbullied ourselves. So, when we're getting cyberbullied, the best thing we can do, if they're spreading misinformation, if they're slandering us, the best thing we can do is firstly discredit them. You can say that, do they have any proof to substantiate what they're saying, what the bad thing they're saying about you is true or not? And then you can report the post to the moderators of that online forum or the customer support system of that blog. For example, Facebook has a report button made for reporting misinformation posts and slandering posts to combat cyberbullying. And some things that we can do is that don't retaliate and save the evidence if the report requires you to bring forth evidence that this person is actually bullying you and what they're saying is actually not true. And about the don't retaliate part, because cyberbully, most of them are trying to get a reaction out of you. They're trying to make you mad, make you say something. So the best course of action that you can take is to do nothing and silently report them and discredit them. And to prevent this epidemic from growing further and affecting our children as well as our teens, the main steps that we can do are promote empathy, raise awareness, and push for stricter bullying policies on social media, as well as in legislations. So yeah, nothing truly goes away on the internet once it is posted. So before you post, think. And that would be the end to my cyberbullying presentation. Thank you for listening.